Morning YouTube. In this video we'll be looking at overthinking. Many times during my workshops and during the mentorship there are many occasions when the student stands there and overthinks the process. Something along the lines of they've been shown an apple, and with that apple they turn it into an apple tree, and from that apple tree they turn it into a orchard, so on and so forth. And simply the process needs to be the apple. Now what we do is that we try to fill in the missing blank. We do this very naturally in our everyday. We think we've heard something, or we think that's what they're trying to say, and in that process of trying to fill in the blank we usually get it wrong, don't we? So and this is no different within the mediumship. What we have to appreciate is sometimes that our mind, our database that the spirit world are trying to use, they need a trigger for us to speak those words. We're feeling vulnerable, we think we're going to get it wrong, and through this process of building up confidence, it may be something very simple, like an apple, to get us onto another subject. Now the process for this is one that you have to speak what you're seeing. And many of us won't do that. Many of us will go, well, what do they mean? How does that possibly mean that? How do I get that? And usually 99% of the time, at the end of the sit-in, when you're working in a workshop or you're working with another student, you'll have some feedback, and towards the end of that feedback they'll say, oh yeah, I totally understood that the apple, that's when I was like 10 years old and they come and helped me when I fell out the tree and broke my leg. But to get there we had to show you the apple. And you would have seen that, you would have had some sort of understanding of it, you may have felt it, and then you kick yourself. You're like, oh, I knew that's what it was, I knew I got that. But you can't claim that once you've come to the end of that sitting and not spoken it. You need to express it. And so the overthinking process is that we will try and fill these blanks in time and time again, and this is when it goes wrong. We over elaborate on an area, so that apple, for example, might become that orchard that I was talking about, and before you know it, the client is completely off track. They have no idea what you're talking about. The reading seems to be coming to an end. It's failing on every level, and it's simply because you are not speaking as it goes along. And so the process of doing this is going to be one that's frustrating, one that's going to be difficult for yourself, because you don't know if you're right or wrong, but you have to get it right or get it wrong to get it right. And so by expressing the imagery or the sensory that's going on in your instrument, in your being, will be one that helps you understand that process, one that will usually lead on to another process, and you know how that lead on feels, and now I'm just going to trust it and go with it. But this takes time. This isn't an overnight thing that happens there. So we need to express, if we see the apple, just say the apple, and I am 100% sure the client in every example will go, yep, totally understand what you mean. And then you get the next bit of information, that next bit of information will come out and again be correct. So you have to go through this awkwardness. It is awkward, it's difficult, but through this you learn exactly how the spirit world are using your reservoir of information, your database, your consciousness, for you to express it. What usually happens is we hold the information back. We try and work it out, we try and think about it, and in that process we turn an apple into a car accident, and it's just not possible. The client just will not understand what you're talking about, and so we go through this bitty communication in the early stages, because we're trying to work out how the spirit world are using that cloaking of the thought process, like I've spoken about in the video called Imagination. And through this we will get depth of information, depth of evidence. We will go further and further in, because we trust it more. We're showing willing, we're allowing that space to be used and occupied by the spirit world. So stop overthinking it. The information is not for you. If the information comes in, then give the information. The next bit might be so far removed from what you believe or what you know that is the process that will hold it back for you. And yet your client will fully understand what's going on there. So give it a try. Let me know how you get on in the comments at your next circle, at your next workshop, or just with your next practice client. Give it a go. Let me know where you're struggling or the problems that you're finding in expressing. I get that you're scared and you're a little bit nervous, but give it a go anyway. Let me know the results in the comments or on my inbox, the usual way. If the video's had value, don't forget to give it a like and a share and a subscribe and a hit that bell, all that kind of stuff. And I'll see you all in the next video.